How's it going, fam? Welcome back to my channel. For those that are new, welcome to my channel. This is Ishtar Tarot, and today I'll be doing a reading for the zodiac sign Capricorn. You guys, today is Friday, so I dedicate my day to walking you guys through the ascension process. It is Spiritual Fridays, so I will be talking about concepts that help raise vibrations, higher consciousness, and today I literally start my reading out with a story, and it's my stories about how I got through this stage of advancement. I'll be utilizing two oracles today, and those oracles are the White Light Oracle and the Secret Language of Light. So let's get started, you guys. So the first part of this, I'm going to talk about these downloads, and you guys might be dealing with it on some level, or you need to be activated on some level, right? So, Cappies, this is about spirit, coming out spiritually, authenticity, standing in your own power or your path, or standing in your truth, and then judgment. So this first part of it, let's talk about coming out spiritually, and that runs in tandem about standing in your truth or your own authenticity. Okay, guys, so I equate this to walking the fence, and it's very difficult when we walk the fence and don't make a decision. There's many different reasons why, you guys. It's draining and it's daunting. Cappies, it's equivalent, and before I explain this, I went through this process myself, you guys. This is why I talk about it. And I talk about it because I know how difficult it can be to deny yourself. I know how difficult it could be to not choose a path. I had done this way before I spiritually awakened, but it was more difficult when I spiritually awakened and I was standing on this fence. Should I be spiritual, or should I go back to living in the matrix? The issue with that, you guys, is that you've already been awakened. You've already put on these new goggles and you can't take them off. So you can even go back to it, but you're going to be depressed. You're going to be anxiety. You're going to be in low vibrations, and it's very difficult. But the process of sitting in the middle, when you're trying to dip your toes into both sides as well, is very difficult. I equate this back to, and I said this in other readings, is you're in the ocean and you guys are trying to swim back to shore, but you're swimming against the current. So you're going in a straight line. Let's say that straight line is the fence. I've done this before. I almost killed myself or drowned myself because I didn't know any better. I was swimming in a straight line because I wanted to get back to my family, right? That was on the shoreline. So I was swimming and the waves kept taking me back, and I noticed that I wasn't getting any closer. And someone noticed me, and they came to help me, right? And he let me grab onto his board, and he said, "Hey man, the waves are taking you back." He's like, "Do you notice it?" And I was like, "I didn't notice it at first. I notice it now. I'm just tired." And he's like, and then he gave me a perspective, right? He told me, "Hey, you're trying to go back to your family right now, aren't you?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then he's like, "That's an issue." He's like, "In order to get back to shore, you're going to have to take this path, but you're going to have to go in diagonal." He's like, "You notice when you go back, or do you notice when you're sitting in the ocean, it shifts you to the left or the right?" And I was like, "Yeah, it does actually." And he's like, "That's because the waves aren't coming in. In order for you to go back, you have to go with the waves, and it's diagonal. It's like you got to take a different path. You can't go straight." And I said, "Okay." And so I did it, and I ended up about, away from my family, but I made it back on shore, right? And it wasn't as tiring. It's the equivalent to what you're trying to do on your guys' path. It's very difficult. It's as if you guys are trying to go back to that old lifestyle, those old family members, maybe even old friends, old habits. But Spirit wants you guys to take this new path. And to me, that guy, that surfer who has knowledge, maybe that's me right now, right? I'm the one who's been sent to you. You guys have focused your attention and you're going through the spiritual awakening process, and now you're on my channel, Cappies. I'm here to give you guys the good word because I went through it. So now you have the decision, and now I've laid out the chips for you. Now you got to make a decision, right? And I'll express to you guys how I went through this painful process, and it was difficult because I denied myself for a very long time, even spiritually awakening. And one of the ways that I denied myself, you guys, is because I didn't want to tell people around me because I was embarrassed. My biggest fears came to reality as well, right? The most difficult part about this, Capricorns, is that I didn't want to be judged, and I didn't understand the process that I was going through, right? I was having these activations and downloads. How do I explain activations and downloads to someone who doesn't know what the heck I'm talking about, especially my family? How do I tell them that I want to read tarot, read cards, and not have them think that I'm evil? Have them think that I'm listening to spirits, bad spirits or something, or I'm the devil, right? How do I have them not judge me? Unfortunately, it's not my business. My only business is my lane, right? But the issue is that they're my family. The issue is that they're my close confidants, my friends. These are different dynamics that you guys might be dealing with, right, Capricorns? The hardest part, and I'll tell you guys like this, in order to be authentic and honor yourself, you have to honor each one of those gifts, each one of those powers that God has given you, because it's God-given. Most people don't understand in this ascension process, and I'm going to let you know the good word is that you are chosen. One second. You are chosen, but you don't know you're chosen because the earth experience, your experience, has taught you different. You don't know where you come from. You don't know that you're a child of God. You don't know that you've been chosen for a path, a higher calling, a life purpose. Right now you're in the initial stages, so you're starting to learn, what do I do next? I don't know where to go, so you called me into your environment. That's why I'm here today. That's why I showed up in your feed. One of the ways to honor you guys' self is to honor the gifts that you have and honor the lifestyle. And the way that we do this on 3 different platforms, you guys. We live in the mind, the body, and the spirit. And so it's already on the spiritual level, you are perfect. You're perfect here too, whether you know it or not. You only need to align your thoughts to that perfection, that harmony, and then your actions will follow suit. So the way that I like to explain this to you guys is that you need to align yourself to those things that you want to do. For me, how it showed up, you guys, is I started getting downloads, angel numbers. That was my initial contact from my guides, God. Most of us are taught that God's going to come out of the sky and he's going to talk to me in his voice, right? No. The guides and the ascended masters, the angels, they communicate with us in a different way. And everyone, it shows up differently. For me, it was angel numbers. And then I listened to the angel numbers, and then go figure, a lot of the angel numbers that I was getting on repeat had to deal with my life. And go figure, once I started to listen to those things, everything started to evolve. My life, my thinking. Then it started to give me information. Hey, go study this topic. If you study this topic, it will translate into a new topic. So this is probably what's happening for you. Stick with me, you guys are going to get a lot from this. Angel numbers turn into sacred geometry. Sacred geometry turned into, and then it activated for me. It's like, wait a minute. If the plants in myself have commonalities, if the universe and the earth have the same commonalities as these, and it's all back to equations, and what they were trying to teach me is that I'm communicating with you on a different level, but it's not going to be the way that you've learned before. You're going to have to move in faith. It's very difficult to move in faith, especially if everyone else around you thinks it's crazy or stupid or dumb, because they're going to say that, you guys. We're going to get to that point. But for me, as I realized, is that there is a lower self and higher self. Right now, you're in the lower self. Half the time, we don't understand that there's a higher self. If you honor thyself, you will honor the high self. You're getting this communication from a higher self, a divine self, or God, however you want to call it. For me, it started to equate to, wait a minute, what else am I missing on? And then I started to realize that my programming started to diminish. I started to realize, wait a minute, if Christianity isn't resonating with me, let's go move into Buddhism. Let's go move into Hinduism. Let's go move into Judaism. I started to read about all of it, and then I realized that there was commonalities in it. And then I was like, dude, this is mind-blowing, how common these things are. And then I realized, wait a minute, I associate with the Bible very well. What? There are books missing. Why are there books missing? And then I started to look, Book of Enoch. Then I started to look at, wait a minute, past lives, past life regression. Then I started to look up the Zephirah. Then I had understood, then I had to look at Hermetic principles, Kabbalistic stuff, right? And then I realized, wait a minute, I am a higher being. I'm mystical. Why do I resonate with this so heavily? Because past lives have taught me that. My higher self is a magic. I am magic at the end of the day. Think about it. Your creation, this process, is in the mind space. You guys literally created this magic. It's bigger than what you think. But I had to realize that I had to stand in this power, even though it was uncomfortable for other people. And that is the activation today, you guys. One of the ways that you're going to understand who's going to ignite your flame and who's going to try to douse it, you have to set boundaries. It's one of the biggest ways that you're going to be able to figure other people out, especially with your family. Don't go telling people about it first. Set the boundaries first. And I promise you, this is how you do it. You know that those ways that they communicate with you and they downgrade you or dim your light, they're doing that for a purpose. A lot of these times, these people know, some of them know who you are. They know that you have a divine path. They know that you are the light. They've seen it at a young age. That's why a lot of you guys probably associate with me very intimately, because of my journey, my walk, my talk, my experience. They knew who you are when you were born. You were just different. Animals probably are attracted to you. Fucking the sun shines when you walk outside. You have this light to you. You're empathic. You have probably very beautiful. Your heart's beautiful, though. That's why you've been chosen. It's not because you're outward beauty. It's your inward beauty. You're empathic towards other people. Compassionate. Unconditional love is one of those things. Probably associate with the black sheep journey. Capricorns. So, getting back to it, setting boundaries. This is a difficult process because you're going to have to stand up for yourself. Stand up for your truths. This is the initial phase to it. And when you do it, people are going to start to walk away from you because they're not used to you. They're not used to this new idea. And you're going to find out that you have been lowering the bar every time. You're lowering your standards for other people, and especially your family, especially your friend groups. When you start to higher that bar for yourself, that self-love, people are going to walk away from you. But not everybody will walk away, Cappies. You're going to have karmic people who are addicted to something about you. It's not your money. It's not power. Not the power that you think. Everything in this universe is a derivative of anger, of energy. The energy of currency, everyone puts their focus on that because that's what in this environment, that's what makes the world go round right now, right? It should be love, but we're not there yet. We will get there. The number one currency on this planet is energy. Most people are trying to filter or siphon your energy because it is you are close to God. You have a pure energy to you. These are advanced teachings, but I have to activate you on this level. Capricorns, the next thing I want to say is that you're going to have people that have been scapegoating you. Usually you're going to find that these people, it's going to be hard to discern some of the people that have been trying to poke holes in your shit. You're going to get to that point eventually. You're going to end up finding out that a lot of people need to go. You're going to end up finding out that a lot of people need to go. You're going to end up finding out that a lot of people need to go. You're going to end up finding out that a lot of people need to go. You're going to end up finding out that a lot of people need to go. You're going to end up finding out that a lot of people need to go. You're going to end up finding out that a lot of people need to go. You're going to end up finding out that a lot of people need to go. You're going to end up finding out that a lot of people need to go. You're going to end up finding out that a lot of people need to go. You're going to end up finding out that a lot of people need to go. You're going to end up finding out that a lot of people need to go. You're going to end up finding out that a lot of people need to go. You're going to end up finding out that a lot of people need to go. You're going to end up finding out that a lot of people need to go. You're going to end up finding out that a lot of people need to go. You're going to end up finding out that a lot of people need to go. You're going to end up finding out that a lot of people need to go. You're going to end up finding out that a lot of people need But setting those boundaries are going to be your initial indicators. Now let's move on to honoring yourself. Honor your gifts. Honor your intuition. Honor. If you want to go do Reiki, go do Reiki. If you want to be a doula, go be a doula. If you want to work with healing people's sexual energy, go do that. If you want to make a course, because that's a taboo thing, right? If you want to do tarot, if you're a channeler, be a tarot reader. If you're a channeler of an alien, Ishtar, go be the channeler of Ishtar. Whatever God has for you out there. If you're supposed to make cupcakes in a certain way, go make cupcakes in a certain way, right? It just depends. Everyone's calling's different, but honor it. You have to honor it, and you have to honor it loud, and you have to be proud about it. Now I have to rip off the Band-Aid. Before we get into the reading, which I will, I promise you, I have to rip this Band-Aid off for you guys because no one did it for me, and I need to do it for you. Judgment. You are going to receive judgment. You're going to be ostracized. You have been ostracized already, but it's going to happen more so now. You remember those karmics that I talked about? Those people that are going to scapegoat you? Now it's going to change. Every level is a new devil. So when you get to a new height, in this initial phase, you guys, I talked about this journey. You are your worst enemy at the end of the day. Those people are an outward expression of what's going on in your mental space. So if you're on this journey, there's two paths. If you decisively decide, I'm going to go on this spiritual path, I'm going to evolve as a human being, I'm going to ascend and I'm going to follow my path. By you making that commitment, you are going to attract others that are going to oppress or try to suppress you or stop you from doing that. Especially the ones that have an attachment to who you were in the past. For me, it showed up as, because you guys, in my story, I often talk about being an alcoholic, a drug addict, right? I'm in recovery. I've been sober for 2.5 years, or 2 years and 3 months. I'm sorry, I'm giving myself some time there. I'm in the recovery process. And then I decided I was going to be in the spiritual process. I had people around me who said, he's faking it. He wants attention. He's not sober. Look at him. He's crazy. Look at the thoughts that he's saying. Look at what he's talking about. So they played off of the things that are going on in my life, right? People are going to do that to you as well. They need to downgrade you. They need to diminish you. They need to do this in other people's eyes. You guys don't play into it. Keep moving on your path. Be quiet, be swift, and be loving. That is the best information I can give you. Every time you react, you give them an essence of yourself, an energy. It starts an energy cord again. You have to quit these people, especially you already feel this on a soul level, an intuitive level. If you don't feel good around a person, it's because they're trying to take something from you. And it's not something you can see. It's something that you feel. Cappies, with that being said, you can't change the perspective of another person. It is a full circle event. I promise you this. At some point, if you keep walking down the journey, and I know that you will, Cappies, these people that ostracize you and downgrade you are going to eventually come back and ask you, how did you do it? Because they're suffering from the same things that you're suffering from, but they're projecting on you. And you can't be in the process, especially in the beginning. You can't fly if someone's continuously smacking your wings, trying to break your wings before you fly, right? You wouldn't as a child, and I love to equate things back to childhood, is if a kid was learning to walk, and every time it fell down, you yelled at this kid. Do you think that would be damaging to that kid? It would probably have difficulties walking, maybe even difficulties running. No, you pick the baby up by its butt, and you say, oh, good job. No, you're okay. Let's keep going, right? Because you need to make the baby think that they're doing a good job. It's the same thing with adult human beings, you guys. Cappies, Spirit's got your back. Honor your process. Be patient with yourself. Everything that I explained didn't happen overnight. Some of it took years. Some of it, I had to go through the cycle plenty of times. I am what we call a hard-headed learner. I got to get smacked up across the head 20, 40 times, sometimes 1,000 times before I get the information. I learned the hard way, so the knowledge that I give you comes from years of experience. It's wisdom. You guys have the same knowledge too. And when you get activated, when you start to really start to believe, that's when the magic begins to happen. Let's get into the reading. Spirit, what do we have for Capricorns today? Let's make it a little short. Spirit, what do we have for Capricorn? Top card. Expansion. That's awesome. I'm gonna shorten the reading today, you guys, just because I have a freaking 8 more. So we have the card expansion here, you guys. This is talking about expanding consciousness is one of them. One of the things that you're supposed to do for this world, you guys, is to shift the way that we think about things. Everything that I said here today is empowering, right? It's activating. It's going to make you think. When I start to say things, it's going to activate you on a level, and you're going to start to take it on as your own, and it's going to evolve from there. So you're expanding as well. Every expansion, every part of your journey is meant to be honored, even if it's bad. There's going to be this part where you figure out that you're judgmental. This is where the journey gets interesting. When you start to take accountability for where you're at, you'll realize that everything that I've told you, you do as well to other people. You might even do it to your family. One of the most difficult things is to honor that process as well. And honor that you've been abused is that simple. But it's not to blame or scapegoat them either. You have to take accountability for where you're at. It's a life lesson. Every lesson has its lesson. But you are expanding. I'm going to read the book reading, you guys. '44. It says expansion. Travel at your own speed of light. That's awesome. Your journey is your journey. It could be no faster or shorter than anybody else's. It's your journey to honor your journey. It says, are you keeping up with your life and all you want to create? Or are you holding yourself back with what ifs or buts? You limit your life through your beliefs. Everything you say and everything you do becomes true for you and is the platform on which you build your life. The playing field of life is unlimited and loving. You are an unlimited, loving, and wondrous part of creation. You are perfect right here, right now. What did I tell you guys? You guys are perfect just as you are. You only need to align your mind to that concept. What you are observing is your view. It is neither right nor wrong, but a way to become clearer about what you like and don't like, so you can choose what to focus upon. The events and experiences of your life will grow in meaning. As your consciousness expands, learning to focus and dance in time with the energy and speed of your desires, and they will arrive easily in surprising and satisfying ways. Think of yourself back to what I said with the baby falling down, and Spirit has your back, picking you up, continuously honoring each process of this journey. You're going to fall down, but you're going to get back up. You're continuously expanding, and in your truth is your truth at the moment. Some of you may not even resonate with what I'm saying right now, but I planted a seed. As far as you've got in this videos is what you needed, what information you needed. Maybe you guys are farther along in the awakening process than I am, but you needed to be reminded of something. Maybe you're a teacher and it needs to be passed along. There is no limit to God's communication at the end of the day. You're always expanding. It's very expansive here, and it's happening in all your chakras. Let's move into the next deck, you guys, the White Light Oracle. I'm going to pick one card from here. Spirit, what do we have for Capricorns? Spirit, can you have one card? Pick the top card. Awesome, you guys. So we have Ishtar's Lion Gate, 888. So it's telling me, you guys, that look at this too. The lion's crown is activated. It's exploding, meaning that your guys is into your throat, the throat chakra as well. Meaning is what you think and what you say is if that isn't in if that is aligned, what you're thinking and saying, and then it aligns with your actions, that's when we work in harmony. That's when we're working in perfect creation. So you are being guided to speak your truth, live in your truth, and think your truth. Right now, Ishtar's Lion's Gate 888 is open up for you. This is the gate of abundance as well. So you guys, Capricorns, this shows up for a lot of Capricorns in our readings, and with other tarot readers saying the same thing. You guys, I believe that the Capricorn collective right now is listening. You guys are still struggling. You're going through your things, but for the most part, you're listening to the commands that are given to you. It's beautiful. Speaking of commands, in next Friday, I'm going to talk about communication. I call it the Universal Codex. And within the Universal Codex is all the communications, how our ancestors, our guides, the Ascended Masters, how God speaks to us, right? I'm gonna dive deep into that for each. I might not even use the oracles. I might give you guys a class on communication. So let's see what Ishtar's Lion's Gate is all about. It says, your heart has heightened connection with the higher realms of consciousness and light. A blessing, empowerment, and positive omen shall enter your world. Doors will be open for you. Abundance and prosperity are headed your way. Take care of your heart. Ask for spiritual assistance, and it shall be granted. Also, you guys have been seeing 888 possibly. Something negative is going to transform into something very positive. Speaking of, is your family, right? Everything runs full circle. They will come back at some point. You just got to let them go at this time period. Also, there might be something that's going on in your life that you thought was negative, but God's going to transition that, transmute it into something that's going to work in your favor. God does that often. That's why I always say the devil might be in charge of this place right now. And the devil equates to many different things, you guys. But when I say the devil, meaning nefarious, right? The devil might have his plans, but God is a higher being, which meaning is this being, or God, this consciousness, is able to utilize those plans and still turn them around in your favor. So always note that, right? Ishtar is the queen of the night, a dark goddess of loss and letting go, but also a priestess of light who holds the keys of renewal from suffering. She is relentless in her pursuit of the path to true inner freedom. She willingly surrenders her attachments and her identities, even separating herself temporarily from her loved ones. Could it get any clearer than that, you guys? It doesn't have to be permanent for some people, right? It's temporary. It says, with such boldness and confidence that she crosses into realms where others dare not go. She experiences vulnerability and in the state discovers deep truth. Ishtar is the capacity of the soul to integrate our experiences. After teaching the greatest depths of suffering, she emerges and is reinstated upon her rightful throne with even greater wisdom, spiritual power, and compassion. In a reading, she's a guardian and a symbol of resurrection. You shall rise again. Those who have felt as though their identity or any other marker of security has been torn away from them are her children. They will find their way back to peace and prosperity under her auspices. If you've been suffering, this oracle indicates an end of struggle is imminent. You shall be restored with so much more than you have lost. Damn, man, that's so beautiful. That is a wonderful, wonderful message. It says, Ishtar is depicted in the Queen of Night, relief that dates back over 4,000 years from ancient Babylon, which was located in the lands of the present-day southern Iraq. She is a bird woman priestess with talons and wings, flanked by owls and lions. She holds sacred tools and a rod and ring in her hands, is bejeweled and naked, symbolizing her power and freedom. Her symbols are the gate, the eight-pointed star, and the lion. She is considered the goddess of the planet Venus, but the star Sirius is also sacred to her. Its rise each year marks her ascent from the dark realms, which ensures prosperity and good fortune for the year ahead. Her jewels and tool represent her great power and effectiveness. The stars represent her higher consciousness and loving wisdom, and are a sign of great blessing for your life, indicating prosperity, peace, healing, and love. The Lion's Gate falls when the sun is in Leo. Leo is the sign of the lion, astrologer, ruler of the heart, and the animal totem sacred of Ishtar. The rising of Sirius took place on 26 July in ancient Egypt, which marked the beginning of Egyptian New Year. In modern times, in different latitudes, the date for the rising Sirius varies considerably. Nonetheless, the 8th day of the 8th month is considered especially potent, and when combined with the 8th star of Ishtar, the numerical frequency of the spiritual portal or doorway that opens on the 8th August becomes 888. You guys also, August 8th, something miraculous is going to happen for you guys. You are seeing 888. The 888 frequency will stimulate your soul in a unique way. It facilitates a deepening intimacy between the spiritual worlds and the earth plane, an amplification of light and an outpouring of positive blessing for humanity. It is believed many, if not all, cosmic avatars who come to Earth as advanced spiritual guides hail from Sirius and take their blessings increasingly available to humanity during the opening between these worlds. This oracle brings a message of a breakthrough and healing, of a significant lightening of your life and the end of a deeply challenging cycle in your life. There is a special divine dispensation augured by the oracle of Ishtar's Lion Gate 888, where hope has been difficult to find or seems lost. The light shall return and a beautiful blessing are destined to unfold in your life. Makes me want to cry, you guys. It's telling me that you guys went through a difficult life. The reason why you guys resonate with my story, Capricorns, you resonate with my story on a deep level because you guys have been hurt in the past before, and that you guys are going through a cycle that's been very difficult. Spirit wants you to know that you're loved and that you've been chosen, and that the path that you're supposed to take is lit just for you, and it's going to be empowering. This new cycle, you're about to receive rewards, blessings because of what you went through. Utilize those blessings to empower yourself. Go after those courses that you want to take. Go expand your knowledge, get your experience, whatever it is. Ideally, it's in service to other people, but get the healing you need, get the work that you need done, get certified, whatever you got to be doing to move forward in progression. Invest in yourself, because if you invest in yourself and walk your path that you're meant to walk, your blueprint, your life purpose, other people will benefit from you investing in yourself. I love you so much, Capricorns. Help me to grow my channel. Other people need to hear this. Give me a thumbs up and make sure to subscribe. I'll catch you guys in tomorrow's daily.